So Captain America is one of the best tanks in Marvel Rivals, but since most players don't know how to use him correctly, I've made a comprehensive guide for how to run this guy right so you can hard carry in competitive. First up, the most important thing in Captain America's kit is his shield, and the reason why this is so good is because it can block and redirect any projectile while it's up. That's including Iron Man's ult, Magneto's, any character that throws a projectile ultimate, he can block and redirect them. So keep that in mind when you're running Captain America. Your job needs to be diving in and redirecting ults. Now let's get into his attack. His basic attack, Sentinel Strike, is where a lot of people make the mistake of thinking you're supposed to just walk up and wail on enemies. While this is technically true, there's a more effective way to do it. When you start his attack, every second melee you land, it begins a projectile. So 1, 2, now he starts throwing his shield 4 times. The reason why this is important is because it allows you to create space and back up. That way, if you get in a bad engagement, you can back out and run away. Yes, you can just sit here and wail on him, but I personally like to back up, create some space, and get away. Next up is Vibranium Energy Saw, which is an alternate. You just throw it. It will cycle between multiple enemies if they're grouped up. It is a 7-second cooldown, so use it sparingly. I personally use it to like to hit people when they're running away and they're low on health. Next up is Liberty Rush, which a lot of players think you're supposed to just dash in to start your engagement. I think that's false. I will personally use it to turn around and get out of bad engagements. Next up is his sprint. This is the best thing about Captain America because he's so fast. He can get in and out of engagements and he can get right back into the fight once he respawns. And it combos with another one of his abilities. When you jump, you do Fearless Leap, which allows you to hone in at the ground and dive down, allowing you to either do a great burst damage to start a fight or to get away. Again, I specifically will use this to run. As a matter of fact, I will combo it with his Liberty Rush. So if I'm in an engagement and I start losing a fight, I'll jump up, sprint away, and then Liberty Rush, increasing the chances that I actually get away from a bad engagement. Next up is his ult, which is very underwhelming. However, it does leave a path behind you. So what it does is it gives your teammates that stand in this path a movement and health bonus, which also apply to you as well. So if you use his ultimate correctly, you can save yourself and your teammates for a short duration. As far as strategy goes, I specifically will use Captain America as a dive tank. I will pick out healers, try to flank them, and then just beat the snot out of them. Due to the fact that his damage output isn't very high and they haven't fixed it yet, I think you're doing yourself a disservice to just walk into the front lines and try to knock out tanks. You're gonna get melted. You need to focus on healers. And yes, when your team actually needs it, you do need to run back to them in the middle of big pushes and chokes to try to be effective at blocking some damage as well. And that's how you play Captain America in Marvel Rivals.